Hey guys, it's me, the Dom Fanatic, and welcome to the first stage of the PPL NX Bronze Playoffs. Now, Eagle Eyes viewers will have noticed that I haven't actually played any games in this league yet, and somehow I'm straight into the playoffs. Well, I took over for a team that where the coach had to drop. I cannot remember who that was, so apologies for not being able to shout them out. But essentially, their record in the regular season, so there's only 5 games in the regular season in like a 3-week period, they went 1-4. So they finished near the bottom of the table, but essentially every team gets to go into a playoff, and then there's a gold, a silver, and a bronze. Kind of a tiered playoff system where you can earn like points towards the overall score for the end of the season, the end of the competition. It's very different to any kind of normal draft league. I was originally meant to be in this, but I then dropped due to personal reasons. For those who aren't aware, at the time, I'd found out I'm going to be a dad, which is really nice. But I wanted to have some time with my wife because it was a very special sort of time for me. You know, it's been really exciting looking at all the baby things that you have to do. But now that's kind of like, obviously it's not over. There's going to be another 6 months to go. I've now got some time to, you know, commit to Mons again. So I'm here to take over for the team. And this week we're against Muffins and Muffins Mudkips, who is also in the bronze playoff sort of tier, I guess. They finished low in their Division 2. That's why we're playing them. So the matchup is on the screen. I wasn't able to make any transfers, but to be honest, the team that I've got is... It looks fun. There's some Pokemon here that I've used before, like Serena and the Glimora. So I'm comfortable with those, but there's some Pokemon in this team that I really want to try out, namely the first two, Annihilate and Zapdos. I've never used them in draft before, so I was really excited to use these two. I will admit, this wasn't meant to be a live comm, but for some reason my microphone didn't record, and that's the same for the next sort of few battle videos that might come out, because I didn't realise that OBS had turned that off. So this is going to be a post-com, and it's really upsetting that, you know, because I talk about all my thought process for rebuilding and stuff like that while playing the game, but I'm not going to have any of that now, and I played this game about a month ago. So, yeah, thought process into the actual building is going to be limited. I have been showing you the draft matchup on the screen. My opponent's got I'm Off, Blitzcore, Rillaboom, the Hoodra, the Holucha, those are very similar, Avalugg, Florges, Dondozo, Mismagius, Maboschiff, is that the one? I always get the names wrong, Carbink, and Weirdeer. Now, key thing to point out about this tournament is there is no terrestrialization in Stage 1. Stage 2, which we're currently drafting for, there is terrestrialization, but for, like, I say lower tier mons, kind of like your 11, 12 points and below, a lot of them are in the Terra rules, and it's very different again, so I suggest you stick around the channel here because I will be participating in Stage 2. So that's the matchup, and then I will very briefly bring up just a snippet of my poker pace because I haven't got enough time to go over my full sort of thought process. And again, I've forgotten what my thought process was because I literally played this game, I think it was literally a month ago today. So yeah, a lot of my thought process has kind of gone out the window. But just for your awareness, we have got like a bulky Zapdos because it matches up into the matchup really nice with just Roost, U-Turn, Hurricane, Thunderbolt with boots. Very standard set. Next, we're AV on Ape. We're fairly bulky in special defense and quite fast with an Adamant Nature just to kind of get some really strong Rage Fists off. Drain Punch is obviously there for recovery, and Fighting and Ghost coverage is just ridiculous in its own right. You've then got Ice Punch for coverage because there is a Gliscor, and then U-Turn just for some momentum as well. Next is Serena. I never uploaded this video from the PBA, but I accidentally terrored my Serena and forfeited the game. So that's why it's called PTSD. Just Power Whip like grass. Dondozo is a potential issue for my setup Latias, which I'll cover in a second, and my Piloswine, which looks really good in this matchup. So this thing is just really nice to just click Power Whip. Low Kick obviously helps with the Goodra, which would be a good switch into this and Triple Axle again for the potential Biscore, which could also be a switch in. So I can click some really powerful Power Whips here, and if I'm expecting a kind of switch, I can always click Triple Axle or Low Kick, and then Spin is just there to get rid of hazards, because I'd like to try and keep my Annihilate healthy because I'm not running Rest this week or like a Lumberry. Next is the Heatran. It's kind of like my best thing for the Mismagius, and that's why I'm running Heavy Slam as well. In case it's like sub Calm Mind or anything like that, or if there's a sub Calm Mind variant of anything, Heavy Slam does a ton, even if I am like negative You can see our modest nature, even if I'm negative attack, it does so much damage. But Lava Plume and Earth Power just hit really hard on the special side. It's got really good coverage, and then Heavy Slam, like I said, and Stealth Rocks just to get the rocks up to chip down that Gliscor every time it comes in. Just to chip down anything, really. For example, Rocks can help me to hit KO Florges really easily with the Piloswine, for example. So actually, talking about Piloswine, this is a fun one. You don't look at a Piloswine every day and think, you know what, this thing's a terror. But when you look at the matchup, this thing is a real terror. So it is quite bulky, and we are running Thick Fat because it means I can just take a hit from the Iron Moth. Icicle Crash does really well into a lot of his mons. The best answer he's got is Dondozo, but I don't know if he'll bring Dondozo. Like, Piloswine might not be a threat, that's on their radar, but I have got a Serena, I've got a Zapdos, I have got the Latias, so they'd have to be running Avalanche to make that, like, less of a threat. So, like, I don't think Dondozo will come, but I have prepped for it with these, with the Zapdos and Serena. But Piloswine's got a really good chance here. Like, Ice Shard is really nice, so if there's no grassy terrain, Ice Shard would be really nice for the Rillaboom. Icicle Crash will obviously be really nice just for strong stab, and High Horsepower is there obviously just in case the grassy terrain is up. And if I can get one curse up, I should live a grassy glide in the terrain. Obviously Wood Hammer I do not. But that'll be why I have Heatran, actually, now that I think about it. There is that kind of check for grass moves there, as well as Serena and Zapdos. So if, you know, if Rillaboom does come, I have got a lot of ways of kind of switching into it and checking it. So Piloswine's really got a good opportunity to do a lot of damage and breaking here. And then finally we've got Dion Dublin. Shout out to anyone who gets the reference here. With Weakness Policy, we're quite bulky with some special attack. Aura Sphere, Store Power, Recover Calm Mind. Essentially, Aura Sphere and Store Power hit the whole team for neutral damage. This is enough speed for me to outspeed the Mismagius, so I can Calm Mind in front of it. I can then take a hit. It will then trigger the Weakness Policy, and at that point it's pretty much good game. Because I will be able to absolutely terrorize most things with the Store Power, and anything that I can't hit with Store Power is Aura Sphere. The main stop to this would be the Dondozo, but like I've mentioned, I've got Serena and Zapdos here, and even Annihilate to an extent. I can just sit in and click Rage Fist and Drain Punch the more it attacks me. And I've also got a chance to, you know, Lava Plume burn if it comes to that. So, yeah. That's the team this week. Let's get into the game against Muffins, and I apologise for the post-com because I haven't watched this video back in about a month, so it's almost going to be more of a live reaction than a post-com. So I'll see you for the battle. Okay everyone, we're here. This is the post-com, so apologies if my voice looks to be out of sync with the face cam in the top left there. Silly me, forgot to make sure the actual microphone was being recorded. So lesson learned. Like I mentioned, it's going to try and be a live com, but it's also going to be like almost like a semi-live reaction, because like I said in my intro, it's been about a month since I played this game. And I've only refreshed myself of the matchup like this morning while doing this. So, and I'm trying to get this out for tomorrow, and it's my lunch break at the moment, so I'm you know, wanted to try and get this done in one take. So if I get anything wrong, we're sticking with it. But anyway, this is Muffin's team. He's brought the Gliscor, the Florges, the Iron Moth, the Hoodra, the what's it face, the Mismagius, and the Hawlucha. So, first things first, Piloswine looks incredible. Like, it hits 4 of the 6 super effective with its stab. One is a Florges, and the other remaining one is a Mismagius. Neither of them really want to take a strong Icicle Crash, so Icicle Crash is like incredibly free this game. Other than the Moth, there is no resistance. If they want to bring in the Hoodra, that's fine. They then die to a High Horsepower afterwards, because I am speed creeping Hisuian Hoodra. Otherwise, Annihilate looks just great. You know, I'll take hits from the Mismagius, from the Moth, from the Hoodra. Literally, I don't think anything here other than maybe the Hawlucha can one-shot me. So, like, Annihilate looks incredible. There is no Rillaboom, which is important, and also really important to note is there's no Dondozo. So, some really good setup opportunity here for my Latias, if that's what I decide to do. Also, I just had my lunch, so sorry if I burp or, like, regurgitate or anything. So my opponent leads Mismagius, which I think, I remember this, think is a really bad thing, because I'm like, okay, right, so, I can't kill this thing in one hit if they Narstie plot in front of me, or they can burn me. So I'm thinking, right, okay, so they're either going to Will-O-Wisp me, they're either going to attack me, thinking they're going to take chip on this because this thing's a threat. Or they're going to trick me. Now, if they're going to trick me, it could be a Scarf, and Scarf Annihilate is never bad. Especially when Rage Fist is like going crazy. So I'm not too worried about that. It's more that if they choice me like a Specs or something. But even then, if they trick me as Specs, then it means this thing isn't Specs. And I don't have a lot of things that answer the Miss Magus very well. Maybe Heatran is the next best thing. So I'm not too worried. It's the Will-O-Wisp that I'm mainly worried about. I want them to click Shadow Ball here, or to predict to switch into something else. But I could just stay in and click Rage Fist. And my opponent does stay in a Shadow Ball, because I'm especially defensive with AB. It doesn't even do half. That stab's super effective. And then Rage Fist is just gonna one-shot this Miss Magus, which is lovely. So we're off to a great start, because this team generally had no real answers to Miss Magus. The only thing that outspeeds is my Latias, and I can't hit it unless Stored Power is active. So that's really good. So here comes the Gliscor. I could stay in an Ice Punch, it's not going to kill. I could stay in a Rage Fist, and that would still do like half. However, I want to scout for the Dual Wing Beat. Now, I'm thinking about this retrospectively. I don't know if the fact I get hit twice puts me then at 200 Rage Power. Rage Fist Power, sorry. Base Power. I'm getting my words all wrong. But it's not something I really want to find out, because this thing's health is still at a point where almost nothing can one-shot me. And I can kind of come in on the Hisui and Goodra at any time and just click Drain Punch. I'm thinking that, okay, this thing could knock off to get rid of my AB. But if it is going to click an attacking move, it's going to have to be Dual Wing Beat to do any damage. But I don't think even Earthquake would do that much. And there is also the chance this will outspeed me, because Gliscor does naturally outspeed Ape. I am relatively fast. I'm adamant with some quite a lot of speed investment. So if this thing is jolly with like a moderate amount of speed investment, it's going to outspeed me. So I don't want to stay in and find out while I've still got my Zapdos around, which I probably should have gone into. It would have been the safer play, but I wanted to get aggressive, because Dual Wing Beat is going to do nothing to Piloswine with the Eviolite. If they want to stay in and knock off here to get rid of it, they'll die to Ice Shard. But we have to think now. All they've got left. So Miss Magus is one of the two things that, you know, resisted ground. This is the other one, and it's weak to ice. So Icicle Crash, however, is unresisted, because their Steel type is also a dragon. Their Ice Resist on the team is Iron Moth. I'll take any hit from Moth, unless it's like Choice Specs Overheat. I think probably would kill me still at this range. But it has to be careful of High Horsepower, which I could very much click here, because Hawlucha would be risky, and this thing's not going to stay in. I'm thinking about whether I want to hit Curse here. The right play is not to Curse here, because there is no Rillaboom, so I don't need to worry about that. I just need to click the Icicle Crash button, because their switching is probably going to be Florges, and it'd be really good for me to find out if it's Fizz Death or Spadef or what it is. So I'm going to click Crash. The chance to two-shot a Florges would be really nice. If it's not leftovers, then it'll be a good chance at a two-shot. If I had Rocks up at this point, then actually this would have been a two-shot. But we click Crash, and it does almost exactly 50%. And we find out it's leftovers, which is frustrating, because that does now mean there's almost no chance that Icicle Crash will kill here. I think there's a role where High Horsepower could kill. However, we do then run the risk of missing. In hindsight, you obviously can miss Icicle Crash as well. So, I think clicking High Horsepower here could be the play, as it might have a chance to roll, a roll to kill. However, if it doesn't kill, it's not the end of the world, mainly because I have got Ice Shard. The only issue here is if this floor just decides to click a Grass move. So I actually do click High Horsepower here, because maybe there is a roll where this dies. I click it, my opponent's thinking, I'm thinking, okay, the only issue here is going to be Giga Drain. I won't die to an Energy Ball. Like a Moonblast will... I should live 2 Moonblasts if this is defensive. If it's offensive, then I will die to the second one. But they do click Moonblast, and as you'll see, it does about 130 damage. So we should live another one quite comfortably. High Horsepower doesn't kill, which is annoying. However, I will now reveal the Ice Shard and take the kill on this Florges. And this is going to put me in a really good early 6-4 position. I can even keep Piloswine alive if I want to, because I've got such great checks for the Moth in the Heatran. I've also got Ice Shard here still, which will be really nice for the Gliscor later in the game. And generally, just priority is nice, obviously, in case anything gets out of hand. Like, I could get Moth down to Sash if it is sashed. Having the Ice Shard to then follow that up is obviously really nice as well. So we're now just waiting to see what my opponent's going to bring in. Like I've mentioned a million times already, they haven't really got a lot that can come in here. Moth, in my opinion, would have been the play to make here. I do have Thick Fat, but I'm also a Piloswine, and my special defense stat doesn't exist. So Hisuian Goodra actually naturally outspeeds Piloswine, but I was expecting either the Hoodra to be minus speed nature, because it could be mixed attacking, or I didn't expect any speed investment if it's just a neutral nature. So I've basically sped crept a 4 EV speed Hisuian Goodra with this Piloswine. And high horsepower isn't going to kill, but high horsepower is essentially going to put this Goodra into like less than 10%. There's also a chance at a crit. Okay, this thing might have had some physical bulk to take the hit that well. And we are going to die to the Flash Cannon, of course, but I felt like that was a fair trade. Like, Annihilate could have been a switch there, but I didn't want to take too much damage. They've still got plenty of Drain Punch switch-ins, so I feel like letting Piloswine go down to then bring in Annihilate is probably a better play. And as this is a playoffs game, your kill differential doesn't really matter. It's more about the win. So knowing that I can bring in Annihilate now and just like click Rage Fist, there's no resist. There is no resist. There's a Gliscor. There is this Hisuian Goodra. There's an Iron Moth. There's a Hawlucha, and I've forgotten what the other one is. So this is Stab Adamant with a little bit of attack investment. Rage Fist. In comes Alucard, which is the Gliscor. I'm going to click the Drain Punch button. Now, I'm pretty sure, looking at the calcs at this point, I can comfortably live a dual wing beat. I don't know if this thing is faster than me or not though. So I could click Ice Punch and do a lot of damage, or click Rage Fist. Rage Fist will probably two-shot anyway. That should probably be the smartest play I can make. But my opponent might also expect me to switch out, which is a fair play. I've got a whole Zapdos that I could go into. Unless this thing has Toxic, it can't do anything to Zapdos. So I'm thinking it could be Protect. It will be... okay, they do Fling. They fling the Toxic Orb at me. So I forgot about this play completely. So they do poison my Annihilate, which is fine. I'm poisoned. Yes, I'm put on a bit of a timer. I click the Ice Punch. That does a lot of damage. It almost kills. And I think that reveals that this is speedy bulky. So it's got a lot of HP and a lot of speed, not a lot of defense investment. I decided that I need to keep Annihilate alive here because I can hit off base 150 Rage Fists now. And I outspeed a fair few things on the team. And if my opponent wants to keep Goodra alive, for example, then they're going to have to risk switching in something to a Rage Fist, and it'll die. My opponent does Dual Wing Beat here, and that does literally nothing to my Zapdos. Hurricane is quite free at this point. There is still a Hisuian Goodra, so my play is deciding whether I want to click the Hurricane to try and kill this thing off, or if I want to predict the Hisuian Goodra coming in. I've actually sped crept Gliscor on my Zapdos, so I'm fast and bulky Zapdos with a lot of defense and a little bit of HP. Because I want to take on those physical hits from the likes of the Rillaboom, which isn't here. So I'm going to U-turn because I feel like he has to keep this thing alive. It's his best answer to the Annihilate. So I'm going to U-turn out, and it does go into the Goodra. So we got that prediction correct. And something dies now. Something has to die now to Rage Fist. Gliscor's too low. This thing will be outsped. If they switch in the Iron Moth, I believe there could be a roll to kill if it's not bulky in any way. He might not know that I'm AB. He should know that I'm AB based on the roll that Miss May just got on me with the Shadow Ball at the start of the game. The Drain Punch is quite obvious here. I'm expecting my opponent to think I probably want some health back. However, I don't want to let Moth in for free. Yes, I have got some really good answers to Moth on my team. But Rage Fist also just gets a kill at this point. It's a shame that I haven't got Rocks up because it would make things even easier. But in does come the Iron Moth. I think my opponent was expecting me to click the Drain Punch there. Actually, all I'm going to do is click the Rage Fist, and all that's actually going to happen is the Iron Moth dies. Not even a crit. I'm adamant with like 86 EVs. Base 150 Rage Fist just absolutely destroyed that thing. So, Annihilate is low. However, again, we rinse and repeat. I want to keep this thing. If Gudra kills something, then this thing comes in, and this thing just clicks Rage Fist. I actually stay in here and click Rage Fist in case they set up on me. Because I don't want to let them click the Swords Dance for free, because that would be a real problem. I have a whole Zapdos here. This could be a misplay from me. I might have expected them to click like a Rock move here. I'm pretty sure this thing gets Rock Slide. Not sure about Stone Edge. However, I think in my head I'm sacking off Ape. Looking back, I'm like, wait, no. Ape could, again, come in on Hisu and Gudra anytime and just get a kill. But obviously, in real time, I was an absolute mad lad and thought that clicking Rage Fist was going to be the best play. But my opponent switches. So that's another dead thing to a Rage Fist. They do sack this Gudra. They obviously expected me to go into Zapdos. Clearly, me at the time, I was a genius and expected this. And I decided to stay in and click Rage Fist. So that's 3 kills for Annihilate so far. We've obviously got 1 kill with the Piloswine 2. So we're 5-2 up, which is always a healthy position. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a playoff game, so I don't really care about the kill differential. I am just going to let this thing stay in and die. Like, just kill off my Ape. If you don't attack me here, you're taking a huge amount of damage from Rage Fist. It'll probably kill, unless it's Sash rolls. So Annihilate does go down, but it put in an absolute shift. Like, it was toxic, it took a super effective hit. Like, it was insane. However, my opponent has only got the Hawlucha left and the Gliscor. So I don't know if you're keeping track here, but there is absolutely 0 switch-ins to Hurricane. They click Rock Slide, and they miss. So while I don't think that changes the outcome of the battle at all, it definitely speeds it up. Hurricane does kill. It's a crit. I actually don't know if that matters. It was just a very hacksy turn. I don't remember it being that hacksy. But if the crit did matter, I apologise, but I don't think... Rock Slide could have 2-hit KO. I am bulky, like I said, and it is non-stab. It's non-boosted from the Hawlucha. We stay in. We click the Hurricane. My opponent clicks Stealth Rock, and it's because I found out at the end of the game they have Fling, Stealth Rock, Dual Wing Beat, and something else that can't hit me. So their only attacking move is the Dual Wing Beat, so it quite literally cannot touch Zapdos. So I'm just going to stay in and click Hurricane. Of course I miss one, which is entirely warranted after the previous turn. But we do hit this Hurricane, and that is going to be enough to kill the Gliscor. So Narstie stepping in at the death for a team whose coach name and team name I do not know. I step in last minute, and we guide them to victory in the first round of playoffs. So yeah, that was good game, Muffins. I do want to say thank you though, because it was Muffins' Aussie time, I believe. So there was a large gap there, so they were playing late in their evening after work. As you'll see, it's daytime in my webcam. I was playing before work, so I was fresh as a daisy out of bed after a shower, having some breakfast. So it could have had an effect there, but it was a good game nevertheless. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this post-con. Let me know how you thought it went, and let me know if you're looking forward to the next round of playoffs, because we are playing my dear friend Shroom Raver. So thank you for watching, and I will see you then. Bye.